respected Sangha members from different organizations, institutions, eminent speakers from different countries, distinguished audience, and my dear brothers and sisters in Dharma, thank you for coming. It's a huge honor to have such a mass audience. I'm honored and hugely humbled to stand in front of such a very luminous personals. Like chairwomen have highlighted that in these 4 days, many distinguished speakers have highlighted on different topics ranging from breathing techniques to even the introduction of AI in this 21st century. Very fascinating, but like chairwomen have highlighted that mine is very blank topic. So I'm very fortunate that only one among hundreds of audience have either heard or undergone dark retreat. So I like to applaud and appreciate. So dark retreat or mtsham in our local or national language. So this presentation is based on my ongoing research, which is a narrative analysis of understanding, analyzing how the darkness can be illuminated or brightened by the light of dark. It's very uncomfortable to imagine that what kind of light in the dark would be. So the subject matter is very clear. You can see true darkness, but still then, I would like to take all of you in a virtual tour. So the audience out here. So in case of the silent feature of dark retreat it's almost non-exist now. By the time I could realize, so all the moon counts of the dark room are demolished, so I could not get any authentic video or images, but still then I just recapitulated. In my olden days, I used to pass by those munkang, and they were such a fascinating. I can just briefly describe how they were built. It was just a very opaque and whole block, just with one window. So this window was served as a kind of like corridor where the attendants used to serve the material with food and drinks, and it was totally cut off from any visitors. Okay, let's quickly recapitulate some key features here. So dark retreat is, I would term as an unguided meditation technique that was practiced not long time ago in a later Buddhist era. It was in the 18th century, and it was in the time of great Jimilingpa and his successive lineage holder, who had envisioned or who had focused on the philosophy of Sandhya Bhasha, or the twilight language. So it can be explained by the light of the day and the darkness of the night. So, what encompasses the dark retreat? It encompasses or it designates the entire range of Buddhist practices in concept, ranging from our individual conduct, motivation, and until with the correct visualization. So some of the participants, some of the retreatants who have undergone, I have talked to, they have said, so there were mixed reaction and feeling at the first 2 to 3 days. So they are totally lost. So lost in the sense they may be frightened even. So they used to say it, shattering in conflicting thoughts. Oh, how I'm going to complete this 7 weeks, 21 days. But because of their high determination and motivation, so the gradual realization the calmness, contentment, and insight into the nature of their self-realization are achieved. So this transmission of Dharma retreat remained as a memory until the 1st century BC, so when the earliest Buddhist texts were passed down orally through the use of, let's say, recitation, oral transmission, and memorization of techniques. Okay, and these are, to be frank, I could not get any authorization from one of the temple whom I have taught to get some authentic knowledge of about the striking features that. But still, then I have to share without keeping hidden. So certain features, I should say, these features or the striking methods or the techniques are quite uncommon, quite unlikely practice in other meditation. Let's say, guided by the light of darkness, Munchi. So those the practitioners, they remain in the darkness, but they are not covered by the darkness. Rather, so they were illuminated by the light of darkness. So the Bhutan used to have the 4 cardinal hole, which they used to receive a sunlight, a moonlight. So this were used to calculate the timing to recognize the passing of day and night. Otherwise, they were completely cut off. Guided by the light of the sun, which is Sirti, and guided by the light of the moon, Kartik, and guided by the light of sleep. So, being in the darkness, if you have very deep sleep, then you are almost lost. However, they have been very conscious. Now, I think the field is quite familiar with other mode of meditation, which is either function of channel, ray, and essence, Nadi, Kana, and Bindu. Okay, so by looking at this slide, some of you from different organizations may now realize that the Dharma retreat is parallel or existing some other practices. So it predates with every religion and its practices. Let's say, so Dharma retreat exists in the Islamic subject with the concept of Dharma. I'm not sure what actually goes with Dharma. And in Taoism, it is said that Dharma is like a darkness. And in Hinduism, very common, the tantric rituals will practice at night in the sanctuary, and the holiness retreat to life and practice in the darkness. It is very common in these adults. So in Japan, Shingon Buddhism, initiation takes place in the dark. And also like in our Buddhist Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana traditions. So I would consider myself that it can be one of the prominent pillar or concept to use in shamatha and vipassana meditation. So I think the last one I don't need to. So dark is moon is dark, and sun is to read or meditate. Okay, so these are some of my analysis collected from the retreats whom I have interviewed. So based on the detail of intention and the whole practice in each session are different, introducing the different modes of meditation and thoughts and feeling developed with confined in the dark room. So it depends on their how far they have practiced. So before I interviewed them, so we had to come on a certain agreement that. So they were quite unwillingness to reveal what they have achieved, what they have realized, but still then, so I could get some very keen information from them. So many of the experience the participants here were typically out of what is mentioned in the text. So one very typical about Buddhism is none of the practices or none of the methods are found to be in any other sutras. There is only one monastery which is written by a very local practitioner, and we need to have very trained to read the monastery. And one common method they use for the dark retreat is guided by the light of darkness, which is mentioned in my research chapter 3. So this striking method, where is in the view that particular method of realizing darkroom is inherited from their teacher, while none of text mentioned. So I would leave up to audience whether this dark retreat really existed or it has been invented by some very realized person. So while doing research and interview, so there were many limited analysis, there were many problems. So I would say that the retreatants, they have very minimal qualification to read the text. However, I would say, going by realization, they were much better than what I am. So though the retreatants were actively engaged in the tentative course of meditation, so individuals lack a clear understanding, of the amount of application they apply in the dark room, because none of them have written evidence and material supply in the pre and post meditation periods. So unlike in the modern meditation, we have the Kirim and Dzogrim. So here, the chances to get clear information-based knowledge are very slim, because all those selected individuals this paper has interviewed have either disconnected from the dark retreat, or a few of them have already passed away. So I think chairwoman shouldn't be worried to extend my time. And on a simple note, so the takeaway from this presentation for my simple blind talk will be it introduces a striking method that are uncommon in many practices which are maintained with Buddhist different schools. So again, one important message you take away from this talk is this dark retreat, the taboo, all kind of like barrier that those in those olden days. So this dark retreat was just referred to that a layman should practice, but I deny the fact, and each levels it as equally important for all, irrespective of grade or concept. So again, the purpose of this dark retreat, it means the techniques of meditation from the original Buddha Vajrayāna, structured according to the capacity of each being. So like dark retreat, in those olden days, so there were no electricity, and they hardly get attend, or they hardly get rely on the qualified teacher or master. So they have no other options rather to confine the dark room. Again, another quotation point is it needs a way to realize the inner brightness of the mind, unceasing existence and emptiness, and overcoming mental obscuration. I think in order to overcome the mental obscuration, I think we need to at least get into the dark room for about 10 to 15 minutes. So the last is it has collected a reasonable interdisciplinary spectrum of evidence, running through questions with Buddhist scholars, retreatants, especially the laymen who have undertaken the retreat. So my way of forward is to either to revive or to study deeper on the existence and the prevailing of dark retreat. So one of best friend of mine and a classmate shared in this day earlier that It was in the ground floor of Sentoho Zone. At the time of where Gyalwang Nyima was the presiding principal. So those who were senior citizens who have been under the guidance of Gyalwang Nyima, so you may recapture how the dark room, how it was under the ground of Sentoho Zone. So with this, I should say, I made it a point at a stupid time, and I'd like to thank that actually I was the last speaker. I used to be last speaker, and I was put second last because Hembo, he has to do simultaneously. So I hope that all the eminent speakers and the well-oriented Buddhist practitioners, empathizers, who have shared their thoughts and the research evidence at this fourth edition would be immensely benefit and become an eye-opener for the younger generation in this 21st century. So with this, I thank everyone very much. Thank you, and